Good morning, students. Myself, Dr. Vijender Singh Tawar, Associate Professor in English, and at present, I have been posted at Government College, Gudha, in the Jhanjanu district. In the series of video lecture, which is prepared by me for the students of English literature of our college. In this regard, today's video lecture is meant for the class BA part first, subject English literature as usual, paper first, and in this video we will talk about the explanation of Sarojini Naidu's famous poem, The Song of Radha, the Milkmaid. I have already given you the explanation of this poem in Hindi. In this video we will discuss its explanation in English so that you can understand in a better way. Sarojini Naidu is a well-known name in India. Every young person or every citizen who has a little awareness about the country's well-known personalities knows about Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Chattopadhyay Naidu was born in 1879 and died in 1949. She is known by the nickname Bharatiya Kokila or the Nightingale of India. She was a multi-talented lady. In other words, she was a versatile genius. She was a poetess, a freedom fighter, a fighter for women's rights, a leader, an administrator, and the first woman to be appointed an Indian state governor after independence. She was also the first woman to be the president of Indian National Congress. She led an active literary life and attracted many Indian intellectuals to her saloon in Bombay. She was very much interested, or she took keen interest in literary activities. That is why she used to invite various intellectuals at her home. She was judged by many the greatest of women poets. She had composed many poems and some of them published in anthologies. So some well-known anthologies of Sarojini Naidu's are The Golden Threshold. It was published in 1905. The Bird of Time, it was published in 1912, and The Broken Wing in 1915. The present poem, The Song of Radha the Milkmaid, was published in the Indian folk song section of The Bird of Time in 1912. That is, it was published in 1912. It is based on the folk stories of the Brij area. Brij area means Bharatpur, Mathura, Vrindavan, etc. This area. And celebrates the divine love of Radha and Krishna. The love between Radha and Krishna is immortal. Radha, the eternal feminine, she has become the symbol of eternal feminine power, cries for absorption in love. Every Indian knows that Radha, the milkmaid, belonged to a small village, Barsana. You must have heard the Holi festival, especially played in Barsana. She used to go from her native village to Mathura, the town where her beloved Krishna lived. This theme has been used by the poetess, that is Sarojini Naidu, to show the true love of Radha for her lover, Lord Krishna. The two other names of Krishna are Kanhaiya and Govinda. These are also the name of Lord Krishna. Mathura is the chief center of the mystic worship of Krishna, the divine cowherd, the flute player, the divine beloved of every Hindu heart. Every Hindu knows that he was the incarnation of God. So they have a special love for Lord Krishna. Sarojini Naidu in this poem tells us about the milkmaid Radha's love for Lord Krishna. Radha the milkmaid carried curd to sell at the Mathura fair. She describes how softly the calves were lowing. That means they were producing their natural sounds. The third line of the poem gives the reader a feel that nobody is buying her card. Means the important thing is not her business in which she sells the curd. Sarojini Naidu beautifully compares the whiteness of curd to that of the clouds in the sky. Radha seems to be least bothered that her curd is not being sold. She is not interested whether she is going to sell her product or not. She seems to be lost in the world of her beloved Lord Krishna. She was so immersed, so drowned in the worship of her Lord that she cries Govinda several times. While if she would have been a businesswoman, she would have counted about the qualities of her card, but she shouted Govinda, Govinda. The river Yamuna flows on softly as if appreciating her chant, that is her song. The poet or poetess, what you know, the same thing, describes the boatman to be in a very happy and joyous mood and call out to their companions to come and join them in their celebration by singing and dancing along with them. The boatmen are in the joyous mood as they celebrate the advent of spring. Coming of spring, the season of spring has come. The people welcome the spring by wearing saffron clothes, orange color, and pluck the newly formed buds. The people celebrate the advent of spring as it is associated with rebirth and life. Even during this time, Radha seems to be thinking only about her Lord and again cries out Govinda. The people around her mocked and jeered at her for her love for her Lord. The Yamuna river flows on joyfully, regardless. So the nature is going on it without having any concern about what is going on in the mind of Radha or how the people are reacting against her or how they are making fun of her. So instead of selling her curd, she carries it to Mathura Siri and offers them as gifts to her Lord. She describes how brightly the serene was lit up by the torches. She folds her hands to pray to the deity encircled by snakes, that is Lord Shiva, and prays for protection while the conch shells are blown. Her heart is lost to the vision of her beloved Lord, and she calls out the name involuntarily, means without knowing what she is speaking or what kind of sounds are she uttering. Others become angry, but the river Yamuna flows on while her water dazzles in the light of the torches. This is the, you can say, crux or gist of the or summary of the poem, which we are going to explain now line by line. In this poem, there are three stanzas. This is the first stanza. And the language is so simple, it appears as if it is a speech of an ordinary person. So an ordinary or layman can understand it without any difficulty. But for your convenient, I have given the meanings of the difficult words towards the bottom of the page. So now look, I carried my curds to the Mathura fair. This is the first line of the poem. I, the speaker the poetess, but here the poetess is speaking on the behalf of Radha. So Radha is I. Radha is carrying her curds to the Mathura fair. How softly the heifers are. Heifers, calves, young ones of cows, cow that has not born a calf or has born only one calf, that is called heifer. They are lowing, they are making their characteristic sound, that is natural sound. They are producing the natural sounds, and she is carried her curds to Mathura fair to sell. I wanted to cry, who will buy these curds? Radha, who is taking curd on her head to sell it in the Mathura, she should have spoken the words. She should have cried. Is there anyone who is interested in the curd? She is ready to sell them. But, and at the same time, she should have said that are white as the clouds in the sky. And her curd is as white as the clouds in the sky. Beautiful simile. Just to tell the quality of her product, she should have said that when the breeze of the sound are blowing. But sound means rainy season. It is drizzling outside and the breeze is blowing. She should have said that. But my heart was so full of your beauty, beloved. But she was so immersed, she was so drowned in the love of her lover, that is Lord Krishna, his beauty, that they laughed as I cried without me. Involuntarily, she, instead of telling about her God, she told or she spoke, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. And when she spoke these words, the persons who were around her, they made fun of her. How softly the river was flowing, but the nature was going on as usual without being affected by her mood. That is, the river was flowing as natural as it ought to have been flowing. This is the first stanza. Now the second stanza. In the second stanza, again she repeats the same thing. I, that is Radha, carried my pots to the Mathura tide. Tide, alternate rising and falling of the sea, means wave of water level. She was carrying her pot of curds to sell the product at Mathura. How gaily, happily, cheerfully, in a cheerful and light-hearted way. The rowers were rowing. The rowers were person who rows the boat. They were very happy and they were doing their jobs of rowing. My comrades called, the companions of Radha said, "Oh, let us dance, let us sing." They suggested that this is very good environment as it is the advent of coming of spring season. So they should dance and sing and welcome the spring season and wear saffron garments to welcome the spring. And they should also wear saffron, that is orange yellow flavoring color clothes to welcome the spring season as other peoples are doing, and pluck the new buds that are glowing. That glowing means blooming. And they should also pluck certain buds which are not fully developed flowers at this time to make certain garlands to welcome spring season. But my heart was so full of your music, beloved. But the poet says the heart of the brother was so full of the music of true love of her lover, that is Lord Krishna. They mocked when I cried without reason. Involuntarily, she again shouted Govinda, Govinda, Govinda many times. And people who heard it, they made fun of her. How gaily and cheerfully the river was flowing, blowing. That is, river was going on as usual, its natural flow. And this is the third stanza, the last stanza. Again, I means the beloved, that is Radha. Radha carried my gifts to the Mathura city. She again carried the gift, that is curd, to the temple of Mathura. How brightly the torches were glowing there in the temple as it was evening. So they had lighted the torches and they were giving out pleasant and light which was very attractive. I folded my hands at the altars to pray. Radha joined her hands in order to pray at the altar of the god, to pray But she wanted to pray. She wanted to pray, "Oh shining ones, oh shining God, guard us, protect us by night and by day. You should protect us all the time." And loudly the conch shells were blowing, and as it was the time of prayer, so conch shells were being blown by various worshippers. But my heart was so lost in your worship, my beloved. But the heart of the brother was filled with so much love, worship, admiration for her lover, that is Lord Krishna. They were wroth, means angry. They become the people around in the temple, they become angry when she cried without knowing, "Govinda, Govinda, Govinda." How brightly the river was flowing. The river was going on as natural it was going on. So we can now sum up what has been stated in this poem, as it is a symbolic poem. So it is necessary to go through certain comments so that we can understand what has been stated or what the poetess wants to convey through this poem. The title of the poem transports us, that is the reader, to another world, as it is talking about Radha and Krishna, who belong to our category of God and goddesses, to an environment of fertility and abundance. There is a lot of fertility and abundance. Mother Nature abounds the earth, fills the earth with the flow of her liquid. She has filled with fertility. This white liquid symbolizes affection and nurturing of life. That is a symbol that we should nurture our life. Rather, the daughter of mother carries the liquid of life and growth to all living beings. Mathura is her destination where Krishna, the divine musician, holds everybody mesmerized with the mystic presence, hypnotized with his presence. The heifers herald her arrival to Mathura, where she will pour into the pots the liquid which she has brought, energy and power from the Mother Earth. It is worth noticing that Sita, the other daughter of Mother Earth, also represents all that stand for productivity. Mathura here is considered the center of life and abundance, while the cow is the species that represents the flow of life and abundance. Radha feeds and nurtures life. Even the clouds in the sky, white and creamy, are part of the resources of life. The clouds and breeze together produce rain to avast the earth with the energy and moisture that coaxes the dormant vitality into life energy. That is which motivates to give rebirth to all nature again. The time of the year should also be noted. It is a time of incessant rain, the month of Sawan, August to September we can say, when the life-giving moisture bursts forth, but it comes in large quantity. Radha's heart wavers from her task in hand. She yearns for her union with the divine musician, a presence that encompasses every soul of Mathura. She is absorbed heart and mind in his mystic presence. And the trade cry she is supposed to give out does not come to her lips. Only the name of Govinda, the omnipresent, the omniscient, and the omnipotent, coming spontaneously from her heart, reverberates. Radha is presented in the poem is the first person. Means she is so lost in the love of her lover that she does not know about, or she does not even remember, is not able to remember that she is going to sell her product. She only remembers only one thing, and that is her lover, who is almighty, all powerful, omnipresent, which is who is present everywhere. In the first stanza, she refers to the commodity she is carrying. Her mind is somewhat attached to the earthly duties and nature of her work. Even in her surroundings, she hears the cry of the reapers, an animal she connects with her trade. And she is not lost completely in the love. In in the second stanza, her mind is drawn towards the joy and the gaiety of nature. She feels the abundance in her heart that life is flowing everywhere. And in the last stanza, she is lost completely in the love of her lover. This is the message which the poetess wants to give to her reader. Thank you very